Aloha everybody from the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video. As you can see, we've been uploading a lot of videos on the channel on various dungeons, from the fortress to the dimensional predator. Today got another video here for you, which is the Punishers Crypt. I really want to stress that I believe all players should really be farming these artifacts. All your units are missing artifacts. All your units don't have artifacts. So this is a very important content in the game that I think everybody needs to farm. That's why we're really stressing, and I decided to make the video on the fortress as well as the Punisher's Crypt first, and I guess the Predator's the mentioned Predator as well, so you guys can get that done for the month. But if you guys are watching here on Twitch, say hello to your future self on YouTube. Now I want to kind of discuss to you about the team that I've been using here that seems to be working for me and seems to be providing me the the most consistent results, and it's this team. As you can see, I have a Verd, I have a Ryok, I have a Colleen, I have a Joton, and I have a Yen, which has been really solid. Now the idea of this team is having the Joton defense break, having the Joton tank the boss since the boss is light. Also potentially putting a dot, which is really nice. When you 2A a Joton, you can be able to put that dot, which is kind of useful on this boss, being able to do 5% of its health. Colleen is there, of course, for the healing sustain and the attack buff. I do apologize about the air server lagging. I swear I wasn't lagging earlier, and it's all of a sudden lagging right now. But yeah, Colleen's there for the healing sustain, attack buff, as well as potential attack break. To make the boss hit a little bit less. You have the Ryok, which is great for doing defense break, doing a lot of damage if he strikes multiple times, as well as team up to reduce the cooldown, right, of Colleen, right, while putting attack down, or getting more turns with Verd, or putting defense break with Joton, or doing damage with Yen. So pulling in anybody is going to be really good with the Ryok in here. And then of course you have the Yen, which is the damage healer, right? Puts attack speed slow, which is great with this boss. Puts continuous damage, which is awesome because it does 5% of the boss's health. And last but not least, has the passive to take multiple turns, which is really nice to dish out a crazy amount of damage, or DPS. And of course the last unit, Verd, right? He's there for that speed lead, and he's there to kind of boost up your team and get your turn cycling going on this team a lot more frequently. As you can see, I have not built a face team, and what I mean by face team is going straight and directly on the boss, right? And that for the reason being that I've tried a couple of different teams, and it seems like the general strat people are trying to do for that speed team hasn't really been exactly pinpointed yet with a lot of like free-to-play units. But the idea of the speed team is to put kind of dots and force the boss to take a turn. And when I mean force the boss to take a turn, I mean basically absorbing attack bar or decreasing its attack bar, because when you decrease the attack bar of this boss, he gains a turn instantly. So by doing that with various units, he'll gain the turn and he'll eat the damage from the dots. So I haven't really pinpointed that team yet, so I wanted to give you guys a more solid, consistent team build here first. And with this, I've noticed, and I decided to go for the towers. As you saw, right? We destroyed both of the towers first. And you're probably like, what the heck? Why are you going for towers first? Typically, in a lot of these boss stages, towers are pretty tanky. But in this particular Punisher's Crypt stage, it seems that the bosses are very squishy. You put defense break, and you can nuke it pretty easily. So for that reason, I've decided to go for the left tower, which is the most important, which cleanses the boss, and then the right tower, which helps the boss get more turns and give it speed buff. So you kill both those towers quickly, and then you nuke the boss. I've noticed this team has been approximately a minute 30, sometimes a minute 20, minute 30 to about a minute 50. So it's not too fast, but I think it's consistent and a good pace, right? Which will help you really get into farming the artifacts, because you want to get these artifacts ASAP. You want these artifacts to put on all your units ASAP. So you want to be able to do B10 very quickly. On top of all this, a lot of people have asked, why Colleen instead of Fran, right? I think the reason why Colleen because of Fran is because I said the mechanic of the boss being that if you reduce the attack gauge, he'll gain a turn. With Fran using S1, the boss may take too many turns frequently, and it might disrupt you too much and do a little bit too much damage to your units, and thus lead to potential fails for your team. On top of this team dungeon, I will definitely show you guys the stats to all these units, but the main core, right? You're probably like, okay, I don't have a Yen build, I don't have certain units built, so how am I gonna be able to run this? I think the main core for this team I'm gonna suggest to you is gonna be the Verd for the turn cycling, the Colleen, and the Joton. I think they're three units that are relatively easy to get, free to play. Joton might be a little bit tougher, right? There's no SD for them. You have to get it from a scroll. You might have got it from a recent event, right? Or you might have had it in storage, because Joton was, known as a great Guild Wars and Guild Siege unit for a really long time. I used to use him back in the day when Guild Wars first came out, quite a bit. So with his 2A now, I think he's really solid for taking this boss. Now, the two interchangeable units that I've noticed here has been the Ryok and the Yen. I kind of settled on Ryok and Yen, but I've also tried things like Krolsveg. I've also tried things like Orochi. I've also done things like Water Twins. I feel that as long as you bring some type of, you know, unit that can maybe do defense break or attack speed slow and can just dish out a ton of damage, you're completely fine. The only thing you don't want to bring is Crow. You don't want to bring like you don't want to bring a lot of other dark damage dealers because of the fact that the boss is currently now primarily targeting the Joton, and you want that to happen, right? If the boss targets Crow, he might kill it and you might fail. So any kind of unit that you think might be viable as a good damage dealer, test it out. I think there's going to be some successful units that you have currently built already that, you know, dish out a lot of damage that can take these roles. But I will recommend you to build the Verd, or have the Verd for this, have the Colleen, have the Joton, right? I'm almost leaning towards having the Ryok on everybody's team as well. The Ryok seems to be really good with the team up. It does a lot, right? More turns, like more everything. So the Ryok might be a staple as well, and I know pretty much everybody should have Ryok built. So the last one being Yen, being interchangeable, can be nice for you to have a little bit of flexibility on, you know, units you have, because I know not everybody out there has every single unit built. So as you can see, it's very, very consistent, right? Not even close to dying in any of the stages of this dungeon. Very, very, very safe. And as soon as you get rid of the towers, you're good to go. This boss is literally not very scary when you get the towers down. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the stats to this team as well, so you guys can see the stats that are on this team and a little bit of the turn ordering, which is kind of important. Joton Replacements. I think Joton can also be replaced by some other dark tank. I think Joton probably is the most accessible, but if you happen to have a Diaz can probably work as well. Diaz will actually help to reduce damage on the entirety of the team. Might not provide defense break as often because Joton is every time he attacks, where a Diaz is just his S2, but he'll tank more and he'll periodically do defense break on S2. So Diaz could be a viable option in there. Let's go ahead and move on to showing the stats. Well, that was actually a pretty solid run there. 1 minute and 25 seconds. Garbage artifact there. Okay, so let's see. Let's do it in the turn order, right? I have Colleen moving first, but I think Colleen or Joton moving first is fine. Either or it doesn't make a difference, but if you want, you can just make Colleen go first. So Colleen, standard build, violent anything. I don't think you need to be on Will. You shouldn't need to be on Will. You can be on violent focus. You can be on violent guard, violent blade, violent broken. Speed, HP, speed, HP, defense. Just make yourself tanky and just make yourself go first. You don't have to be 200. I took this set off another unit, off my violent Bastet. That's why it's so fast. But I think if you're 200 speed, that could even be fine. You just have to speed tune everything to go after it, which might be easier, right? The slower you are, the more potential stats you can get onto other, the more stats you can get in other areas, like more attack, more health, more defense, if you don't have so much speed. So maybe around the 200, if you're a little bit stronger, 220 speed on violent is going to be really good. Not on Will is okay. Second unit move that's going to be moving will be the Joton. This is going to be your defense breaker here. He's super easy to build as well. Speed, HP. I decided to go Swift so I could try to make him so he can go first easily. You can go Violent if you want. That's totally fine. That's probably even better if you have him on Violent. He can have a higher chance of landing a defense break. So having him on, I have him on Swift Revenge here. If you want, you can go Violent Revenge. Shoot, you could even go Triple Revenge. You could even go Energy Revenge, Energy Guard Revenge. Right? Shoot, you might not even need Revenge. But I think going Revenge and Violent is probably going to be one of the more optimal builds for it. Tanky, good accuracy so you can land defense break. That's it. Right? He's just setting up the defense break and he's just soaking up the damage. So just really, really tanky. Third unit that's going to be moving on the team that I have here is I believe is the Yen. Right? The Yen's going to be moving next. She's on Violent Guard. Like I said, it could be Violent anything. You can go Will. I mean, you can go Will. If you're using it for Guild Wars and Guild Siege. You can go Blade. You can go Energy. You can go anything. These are the stats that are currently on my Yen. Make her a damage dealer. Make it so she's not too squishy. Right? You don't necessarily have to make her this tanky, but not just so she's not so squishy. And like I said, doesn't have to be this fast. So if you're going to be going with a 200 speed Colleen, you can push this down further, right? You can be 190 speed Yen. Keeping in mind that your Verd also has a speed lead, which kind of helps out. Right, depending on your glory towers, right, you should be fine in terms of the speed. If you want to go for a little bit more accuracy on Yen, I think that'd be nice. I think I should try to aim for myself here about 40% accuracy, just so I can land the attack speed slow. I can also put the dots, right? That'd be really, really nice. So try to get a little bit more accuracy than this that I currently have here. So I'll try to slow down my team entirely and get some more of these stats that I'm mentioning. Next unit to move on the team is the Ryok. This one's on Violent Blade. And of course, it's just going to be a damage build. I have it on a speed, crit damage, attack build right now. Again, doesn't have to be this fast. make it a little bit tanky, put a bunch of damage on it, and it's going to do great. A little bit more accuracy to potentially help with the defense break if Joton misses can be really solid. And last but not least, Verd. Verd's just going to be tanky on as much, 100 crit. Last to move on your team. Now, this is very important. Last to move on your team. I see people rooting their Verds at all different sorts of speeds, right? First, in the middle, but last is the absolute best. It allows your whole team to move. It allows everybody on your team to move and be at as low attack gauge as possible. And then with Verd going last, he gets the maximum boost for everybody on your team, including himself. So make sure he's last. Make him tanky. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can go, he's on Violent Revenge right now. You can go Violent Revenge and you can try to do a damage build. Right? If you can achieve making yourself tanky enough, getting high crit rate like 95 to 100 is good. And going crit damage and dishing out extra damage, that would be even better if you can do that. But overall, as you can see, those are going to be the core units that you're going to build for this team. Hopefully, that kind of helps you out on your Punishers Crypt. I know everybody wanting to jump in here ASAP. I've been farming the Steel Fortress and Punishers Crypt all day, every day, trying to get some good artifacts. They are dropping, but I need a lot, right? We all need a lot to root up all our units. That's going to be it here for today's video. Hopefully that kind of helps you guys out a little bit with Punisher's Crypt. We'll probably in the future make some more videos on some speed teams. Maybe teams that are a little bit more premium. Maybe a little bit more premium in terms of your rune quality and monster box quality. But we'll make some of those speed teams in the future for you guys if you guys are interested in those. Do me a big favor. I noticed in the analytics and the statistics that a lot of you guys watching the YouTube videos, you guys aren't really subscribed to the channel. Do me a quick favor. Hit the subscribe. If you want, you can hit the bell as well. It'll get you notified every single time we release a video. And we upload a video every single day, sometimes even more. As you can see, we've been doing like 2 or 3 videos every single day, but 1 video guaranteed every single day. You'll be notified and you won't miss out on anything. Other than that, hit that like, leave a comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear some dungeons that you're running, maybe some of the theory crafting you're doing as well. And I'll see you guys on the next live stream or video. Peace out, YouTube.